Donald Trump gets such incredible news, the White House is freaking out. Plus, a bombshell story never before told has leaked, and the White House is furious. I'll tell you all of the details at the end of this video. Greg Abbott of Texas and Mayor Eric Adams of New York get into an online fight over illegal immigration, and Jesse Waters of Fox News exposes that the Fed likely has blackmail videotapes on many high-ranking politicians. You won't want to miss a single minute of today's big bombshell news update. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out more than you could even guess. So thank you so much. Now, in regards to the New York illegal immigration crisis, Mayor Eric Adams extended an invitation to Texas Governor Greg Abbott ahead of his trip to New York for a Republican fundraiser, offering him a stay at New York City's Relief Center where they house illegal immigrants. During a press conference, Adams stated, "I'm going to offer him a stay so he can see what he has created and understand how we treat people with dignity and respect, which is how they should have been treated." So a few issues I want to point out. New York chose to be a sanctuary city. New York chose to put illegal immigrants over the good of their own tax-paying citizens. New York has chosen to slap their own citizens in the face by giving out free benefits to illegal immigrants. Now, Texas is also dealing with 10 times as many illegal immigrants as New York. Lastly, New York continues to put up with a broken border and kiss the butt of Joe Biden in order to keep getting federal money, while Texas has decided to stick to her motto of "Don't mess with Texas." Now, Greg Abbott responded to the invitation, dismissing it as a gimmick. During an interview on Fox News, Sean Hannity's show, Abbott suggested that Mayor Eric Adams should focus on more pressing issues within his city, such as crime and the safety of law enforcement officers, apparently referencing a recent killing of NYPD officer Jonathan Diller and other policemen that were beat up by illegals, and then they were basically let out of jail within 24 hours. Now, the fundraising event that Abbott will attend is for former President Donald Trump. But with his recent fundraising success, the Biden campaign has accused Trump of being a sellout. So they raise more money than you and suddenly they're a sellout? Let me continue. A current senior campaign spokesman for Joe Biden stated, "If you want to know who Donald Trump will fight for in a second term, just look at who he's having over for dinner. Tax cheats, scammers, racists, and extremists." I love how they use the strongest language in order to embarrass somebody. Oh, he's hanging out with a bunch of extremists and racists, none of which is true. Now, it seems their argument against Donald Trump is that he's becoming part of the DC swamp he pledged to destroy. But let's be honest, both candidates likely receive large sums of money from lots of questionable people. Well, Biden is about to be butthurt once again. Democrats are bragging about how their three living presidents, Obama, Clinton, and Biden, raised close to $25 million. Well, tonight, Donald Trump is hosting a fundraiser, and sources show that he is on track to raise nearly $50 million. That's almost double, but even if it doesn't, as long as he crosses over 40 million, it will be the largest political fundraiser in world history, proving that Donald Trump still likes to go bigly. All right, now that's big, big news. Now, did you know that in 1987, Nancy and Paul Pelosi started trading stocks? Their family net worth is now easily over $120 million, despite her making less than $200,000 a year for almost 4 decades. Now, the math doesn't add up unless you hit home run after home run after home run, which means insider trading. Well, recently, Miss Nancy disclosed a new trade. This time, it's with a private pre-market company. This is where the ultra rich get pre-IPO access to big companies before they're known about publicly. Now, Disruptor is one of these groups that can help people gain access to groups such as Elon Musk's Neuralink and SpaceX, Lemonade Insurance, DigitalOcean, Palantirs, and Airbnb, to name a few. Now, there is a new one opening up with this group, and Amazon, who you've likely heard of, has just invested $4 billion privately, taking a minority stake with exclusive access to their servers, their computer chips, and Amazon Web Services. Now, the group is called Anthropic. They are a rival to ChatGPT and Claude AI. But Anthropic was built by former employees of ChatGPT and Claude, so they know what to do, but also how to improve upon it. Now, Anthropic is currently in its pre-IPO or pre-initial public offering stage. It's truly a ground floor opportunity to get in with a company that they believe is already worth over $20 billion. Now, analysts believe over the next 8 years, AI tech will go from $60 billion to over $420 billion. So think about that growth over the next 8 years. But as of right now, Anthropic is still private, and only pre-IPO for accredited investors can gain access through the Disruptor platform by following my link down below. So follow that link right now if you want to learn about Anthropic, this incredible opportunity, this industry that's going to go from 60 to $420 billion. I will leave that Disruptor link down below. Now, according to the Department of Labor, the U.S. economy experienced significant job growth in March, with employers adding 303,000 new payroll jobs. Now, this figure surpassed economists' expectations, which had predicted an increase of only 200,000 new jobs and an unemployment rate of 3.9%. In reality, it fell to 3.8%. Now, the jobs gained for February and January were also adjusted, resulting in a net increase of 22,000 more jobs. Notably, the 3-month moving average edged up to 276,000, indicating a sustained positive momentum in the labor market. While this may seem like good news to you and me, we want people employed, we want people taking care of themselves, we want people to have lots of money, right? I want you guys to be rich, right? But for President Biden and the Federal Reserve, this is bad news. Here's what I mean. More job growth means more people with money chasing fewer goods, which raises inflation and lowers the chances of having interest rates drop. Now, when this happens, inflation skyrockets and everything becomes more expensive. Last year, it was expected that the Fed would cut rates 3 times, but according to new statements from Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari, he believes they may only do 2 rate cuts closer to the presidential election. Now, it's crazy that they haven't been able to get inflation under control the entire time Biden has been president. They continue to struggle with this while dangling a carrot to the stock market that everything is A-OK. Now, how bad is inflation? In a recent Wall Street Journal analysis based on Nielsen IQ data, the cost of a typical $100 grocery haul in 2019 is over $140 today. That means that inflation isn't up by 9% or even 12%. Grocery store inflation is up over 40%. Now, you knew that and I knew that. Meat's more expensive, cheese is more expensive, vegetables, snacks, all of the daily needs that you have all got more expensive while our government lied to you and to me. Oh, it's only 9%. And I've gone over why they did that, right? They wanted to screw seniors out of a proper Social Security raise. Now, furthermore, products have seen an even sharper price increase, like eggs up 63% and sports drinks up 80%. Now, although prices rose 1% from February 2023 to February 2024, The period from 22 to 23 was over 10%. This means that every single ingredient going into the food you love became more expensive, which means the final end product on the grocery store shelf also became more expensive. So the Biden administration is lying to us about inflation and the cost of living in order to make Joe Biden look good. All right, now this is pretty crazy, so pay attention. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs, or Puff Daddy, the controversial music artist who's at the center of an explosive allegation made by his bodyguard, Gene Deal, who claims that Puff Daddy possesses blackmail tapes of people that aren't just in the rap industry. As many of you know, Puff Daddy, or Diddy, is currently being investigated and had 2 of his homes raided by the Department of Homeland Security. He then fled to the Bahamas. He's now back essentially on house arrest. During these raids, federal agents confiscated all of his computers and all of his digital devices. In an interview with YouTube channel The Art of Dialogue, Gene Deal suggested that these tapes include not only A-list celebrities, but also U.S. politicians, worldwide politicians, princes, preachers, indicating that there were surveillance tapes all over Puff Daddy's house and that he was doing what's called Mossad, where they bring people in and they compromise you on tape so that you will do whatever they tell you to do, right? This sounds like something out of a spy novel, but you better believe that there are people in Washington, D.C. that are compromised by these blackmail tapes. Now, Jesse Waters of Fox News also shared on his show that these tapes do exist and that they might already be in the custody of the Fed and the FBI, posing a significant blackmail risk to our politicians and leaders. Now, these allegations are supported by rapper Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who also claimed that Puff Daddy had recorded activities at his parties without people's consent. Despite these serious allegations, Combs has denied that he's ever forced people into having relations that they didn't want, doing sexual things, homosexual things, being videotaped, being compromised. He's saying none of that's true, but friend after friend after friend is coming forward saying, oh yeah, they've got it, and now the Fed has it. Pretty crazy. Okay, now my final story. Sage Steele, a former sports host for ESPN, has finally leaked a story that Democrats are going crazy trying to cover up, and the White House is flat out lying about. Now, according to Sage Steele, she was given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to interview President Joseph Robinette Biden, Joe Biden. However, ESPN, who is owned by Disney, demanded that the entire interview with Joe Biden be scripted. Absolutely everything had to be scripted. Now, Sage Steele was told she could not deviate from the script, and she was not allowed to tell a soul about the entire interview being scripted, from questions to answers. So, the interview that we watched was essentially crafted and written by a Disney payroll copywriter. And Sage Steele was silenced into compliance, or else she would lose her job. Well, eventually, she ended up leaving the network over them trying to control her speech and force her to get an experimental shot she did not feel she needed. So, our president is a complete moron. He literally can't do an interview unless the entire thing is crafted and scripted. This leads me to believe that every interview he's done, including with ABC George Stephanopoulos, was completely fabricated, was completely scripted. And even then, he comes across as a bumbling idiot, as a weak old man with a poor failing memory. Now, where else did we see these totally scripted TV experiences? Oh, that's right. The January 6th committee. Remember, they brought in a former Emmy-winning person to write the entire script, the camera placement, the lighting, everything. They brought in Hollywood producers to try to convince you and me that Trump was behind the January 6th attack on the Capitol versus just angry people that were having grenades thrown at them, smoke bombs, percussion grenades. This was all Hollywood scripted. And you and I now know that we live in the Matrix, but our eyes are open. We know the truth. We love the truth. Anyway, God bless Sage Steele for having the courage to finally speak up and tell the world all of the interviews that you're seeing with Joe Biden are crafted and scripted from soup to nuts, from A to Z, from question to answer. Oh, gosh. I can't wait for Trump to beat him in this fundraising this weekend. All right, now this is my update for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button. I want you in my YouTube community. Also, if you're an accredited investor, check out Disruptor. Make sure to do your own research, but this could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with a pre-IPO offering like you've never seen before. Also, I want to remind you guys that you are amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by. I love you. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.